Let us pray. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, we thank you with hearts and hands and voices in awe of the refreshing grace poured over your creation on this day. You have done wondrous things, and it is marvelous in our eyes and ears as we hear the still small voice of your assurance echoing down the acoustical corridors of past and present Duke history. As we sit in the wooden pews or touch the hallowed stones of this building, we remember the past and remember by name the founders of this university. They, the great cloud of witnesses who have formed such a generous bridge over which we have crossed to the blessings of today. Brantley York, Braxton Craven, and those who laid the foundations for Trinity College. John Franklin Crowell, Washington Duke, Julian Carr, and those who brought the college to Durham. Benjamin Duke, John Bassett, and those who made Trinity College the pride of the South. James B. Duke, William Preston Few, and those who transformed the college into Duke University. Julian Abel, Mary Duke Biddle, Frederick Haynes, Ellen Shipman, and all who made the campus a place of beauty and inspiration. Mary Mitchell Harris, Jean Wendell, Wilhelmina Reuben Cook, Cassandra Smith Rush, Nathaniel White Jr., and all who helped to integrate Duke and make it a more diverse place. The wider Duke family and all who have served the university as benefactors, trustees, presidents, administrators, faculty, and staff, and the Duke alumni who, as students, made this university an invigorating and lively setting for teaching and learning. As we remember with Eucharistic hearts, we are reminded that none of us are self-created, and so we celebrate the past founders of this institution and the founders of our lives, even as we ask your wind to blow us forward into a better and brighter future, because you are our hope for years to come. Let our future be one in which we uphold and exceed the best traditions of this university, as we reflect the beauty of shimmering stained glass windows and resonate with the joy of reverberating cathedral organs. A future in which our collective imaginations rise to heights beyond these vaulted ceilings, reaching beyond ourselves to find our true selves. Grant us this future by your amazing grace as we seek to do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly before you. Amen. Please be seated.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to welcome you to this beautiful space for one of our oldest university traditions, Founders Day. At Duke, the calendar is filled with many formal and informal ceremonies. The students celebrate commencement, the faculty celebrate the day after commencement, alumni return in droves for reunions, and our employees turn out for Employee Appreciation Day, which we hosted at Wallace Wade just a few days ago. But there are few opportunities to celebrate the entire university community collectively. There are few times when we can all come together and renew the bonds of university life that connect us to one another and to the many Dukies who have come before. Today is one such celebration. As the name suggests, we are here to commemorate the founding visionaries of this university, to honor Washington Duke, who stepped in to save what was then Trinity College from financial disaster in the 1890s. Benjamin N. Duke, who established himself as Trinity's primary benefactor. And James B. Duke, who provided the vision and the financial support for Trinity to become this university. The Dukes are towering figures in our history, not only because they gave this university its start, but also because their actions have supported us ever since. All three understood that with these investments, they could turn their significant resources into an immeasurably larger return for the entire region and indeed for the world. And at the university that bears their name, we know firsthand just how great the return has been. Their generosity literally built this campus and everything we do here. Every discovery made in our labs, every class taught by a distinguished faculty member, every life that is saved at the hospital is a direct result of their original investment. Today, we honor them for this magnificent contribution. At the same time, we recognize that the Dukes didn't do it alone. What their descendant Mary Siemens called the evolution of Duke has required the continual support of 3 generations of members of this noble academic community. Through the years, the Duke's initial investment was renewed by countless alumni, faculty, students, staff, and friends of the university, who have themselves endowed the promise of this place, and you now sit among them. So as we join together today to honor our founders and to celebrate the coming of another year in Duke's remarkable history, let us remember with gratitude the Duke we have always been and look ahead with renewed purpose toward the Duke we are destined to become. I am now delighted to introduce the Founders Day speaker, Michael J. Sorrell, the 34th president of Paul Quinn College. A double Dukie, President Sorrell graduated with a Master's of Public Policy in 1990 and with a law degree in 1994. And in just a few minutes, I will present him with this year's Distinguished Alumni Award. President Sorrell is a fitting honoree on Founders Day. As much like Washington Duke, he has turned around the fortunes of an historic college. In his 11 years at Paul Quinn, he has transformed a struggling institution into a model of what he calls the New Urban College, offering an innovative curriculum based on real-world job experience for primarily lower-income students. Throughout his tenure, President Sorrell has sought to turn the college into an engine of social mobility. He cut tuition in half and created an internship requirement for all students. He implemented a campus-wide business casual dress code. And perhaps most remarkably, he turned the football field into the we over me farm in order to battle the food desert conditions of the community surrounding the campus. President Sorrell has been awarded HBCU President of the Year 3 times, and he was recently named one of the world's 50 greatest leaders by Fortune magazine. And I'm proud to report that in spite of all of his success, he has not lost touch with what he has called his Duke tribe. In fact, just this month, he announced that Duke alumni in Dallas will be mentoring Paul Quinn students in a new 9-month professional development program. Please join me in welcoming President Michael Sorrell back home to Duke.
Good evening, Duke University. Now, I was going to let this pass, but I am the president of a historically black college. Historically black colleges come from the black church tradition. The black church tradition is a call and response tradition. You have just failed the first test of the call and response experience. So let's try this one more time. Good evening, Duke University. Much, much better. Every now and then we can be a little more AME than just traditional Methodists. It is truly an honor for me to be here tonight. Duke University is a special place to me, and it is a special place to my family. This in itself, this occasion, standing in this majestic hall, is really one of the special moments in my life. Before I begin my remarks, though, I would like to recognize and thank some people. The first person that I would like to thank is President Price for the wonderful invitation to be here. Now, I will tell you a story about how I found out and was notified by President Price that I was to be this year's Founders Day speaker. He sent me an email. And anyone who knows me knows that I have a very troubled relationship with my emails and my inability to manage them. They will also know that I have destroyed countless numbers of computers by opening up files that had viruses contained in them. So President Price sent me an email, and it just said Vincent Price. There was no subject line, nothing else. So I'm thinking this is some type of new spam that Michael Jackson's Thriller video is going to pop up in a minute. Instead, it was an email notifying me that I was received a Distinguished Alumni Award and be Founders Day speaker. Now, this, I never would have expected that from him. To send an email with no subject line telling you something that important, this is just how this guy rolls, right? He just sends it out. So I open it up, I read it, I'm incredibly touched, and I just have to tell you, President Price, thank you for really one of the most special honors of my life, but that was one of the most boss moves I've ever seen in my life as well. I would next like to thank Sterling Wilder, Lisa Wiestert, and our amazing Duke University Alumni Association. They helped make this moment a reality for me, and it is something that I will never forget. But this is just one small example of the extraordinary work that they do. As President Price has already mentioned, the Duke Club of North Texas has adopted my college. And it is something special when alums from your school adopt a school that they have no connection to other than just the love they have in their heart for service. And that is special. Now, I can't promise that I won't try and convert them into donors, but given the success of the last capital campaign, I think you have a little money to spare. I also want to thank Nikki Gibson and Andy Halpern and Paul Janinder, who helped create that program. They also are Duke alums, and I appreciate them greatly. I must recognize my Paul Quinn College family, or the Quinnite Nation as we call them ourselves. They are watching this via live stream, and the reality of it is I would not be here today except for their willingness to work hard, to trust a vision, and to believe that we can do things that serve other people. So thank you, Quinnite Nation, for all that you have done for me. I also must thank my sister Kelly, who is under the weather and is unable to be here. And if any of you have siblings, you will understand that these words that I say right now to her, thanking her and recognizing her, are probably the most important things I will say tonight. I also want to recognize a group of my close friends who are here. And would you all please stand up? These are some of my closest friends in life. I have grown up with them literally and figuratively. They stopped what they were doing from all various parts of the country to be here with my wife and I tonight. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for today. Thank you for yesterday. Thank you for tomorrow. Thank you for all the things that you have meant to me. Thank you for teaching me how to be a better man. And just thank you, and I love you. Thank you for being here. Lastly, because I believe in happy homes, I want to thank my beautiful wife, Natalie. Usually when we are on campus for Duke activities, I'm off doing all things Duke, and she is chasing behind our two children, Mike and Sage. Well, because this was a school night, she refused to give them a field trip pass and allow them to come. So they're at home with family while we get one of the greatest date nights ever. So I just want to say thank you to my wife, who really, because of her sacrifices, I am able to do the things that I do. I love you and thank you, honey. Yes, please clap for her. All right. Now, as we say in the Black church, protocol has been established. Let's get down to business. I was taught that whenever you begin remarks in a church, that you should start by reading a Bible passage. I recognize that this is not a formal church service, but one can never have too many words from the Lord. So we're going to start with my favorite Bible passage, which is from the book of Isaiah, and it's chapter 58, verses 10 through 12. And in that it reads, "And if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will always guide you. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Your ancient ruins shall be rebuilt. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations. You shall be called the repairers of the breach and the restorers of streets to live in." In this part of the book of Isaiah, we are given a very clear standard for what qualifies as greatness. We are told that if we are there for those who need us the most, the hungry and the oppressed, the Lord will reward us by satisfying our needs, and we shall be praised as repairers of the breach. This is a very, very different standard of greatness than the one that is found in the Bible of higher education, the U.S. News and World Report. Per those scriptures, we are told that the standard of greatness is determined by an institution's rank, its endowment size, the amount of faculty resources, the opinions of so-called experts, the number of new buildings, and even the quality of student life amenities. The problem with these varying standards of greatness is that they have created schizophrenic institutions and unhappy constituents. Therefore, tonight, as we celebrate the founding of our beloved Duke University, a university by today's standards is considered one of the great institutions of our time, I want to explore and unpack this idea of greatness. Tonight, during our brief time together, I would like to ask the question, whose version of great shall we be? Whose version of great shall we be? Ladies and gentlemen, there was a time when Duke was not considered great. Truthfully, there was a time that Duke was not even Duke. As impossible as it may seem, in its early years, Duke lived a payroll-by-payroll existence, and its tomorrows were very much in doubt. In 1838, when the Methodist and Quaker families of rural Randolph County came together to hire a teacher for their small subscription school, the goal wasn't to build an institution that would compete for NCAA championships year after year. No, in 1838, Brantley York's charge was to transform the infrequently used Brown Schoolhouse into something more. Now, lest anyone be confused, Brown Schoolhouse did not get its name because it was a school for brown people. No, in 1838, there were no brown students to be found in anyone's schools in North Carolina. But Brown Schoolhouse begat Union Institute, which begat Normal College. Then, in an effort to garner favor and financial support from the Methodist Episcopal Church, in 1859, Normal College changed its name to Trinity College, and it allowed Methodist ministers to attend the school free of charge. It was the Methodist connection that actually helped the school survive the horrors of the Civil War. Between 1887 and 1892, the school embraced the German university model, overhauled the curriculum, and moved out of Randolph County to Durham because the school's leadership viewed these things as necessary for the institution's survival. These moves, coupled with 3 $100,000 endowment building gifts from Washington Duke and the relationship with the Duke family, transformed Trinity College into one of the South's leading liberal arts colleges prior to World War I. However, it was not until 1924 and a $19 million gift from James B. Duke that Trinity College became Duke University. The switch was partially made to give the school a better chance to distinguish itself moving forward. At that time, the Duke board noted that the number of name changes and location changes, but declared that the school must change to meet changing conditions. As you can see from this brief overview of its history, Duke has change wired in its DNA. It is well settled that the institution will change when it deems necessary. Well, given the state of the world today, given the conditions which we all are currently living under, I would argue that it is time for our beloved Duke to change again. We now live in an era where our country feels broken. We have lost our faith in our leaders and our institutions. Everywhere we turn, we see far too many examples of injustice, unrest, and despair. Battles that were supposed to have been fought and won decades ago now must be fought again. For far too many Americans, hope has become a precious commodity. The loss of hope has given rise to fear and anger, and nowhere are those emotions of fear and anger more prevalent than on our college campuses today. Our students are angry and they are hurt. They feel betrayed by the very systems that we told them were going to be there for them and be safe for them to believe in. Additionally, our colleges and communities are surrounded by communities that look to us for leadership, but all too often are being left with unfulfilled potential. What people need, what this country needs, what our society needs, to paraphrase the rhythmic American poet Nasir Jones, is people need someone to believe in. They need a hero. Duke University can be one of those heroes. But if Duke is to be that hero, it cannot lead today the way it led yesterday and expect to be thought of as a great institution tomorrow. If Duke is to claim the mantle of greatness moving forward, it must aspire to live up to the Isaiah standard of greatness and serve the people who need it the most. If Duke is to become great in the eyes of Isaiah, it is going to have to be great for far more than just the people who pay full tuition, score near perfect scores on the SAT, or are athletic prodigies. Duke will need to be great for all of us, even those who may never walk this campus, but whose spirits walk with those of us who do. Greatness of this magnitude means that you must rise to the challenges of the day, and not just the challenges that pay. Let me say that again. You must rise to the challenges of the day, and not just the challenges that pay. It means that you are commanded to use your voice in the service of the voiceless. You are commanded to give hope to the hopeless. Duke, I love you, but I stand before you today not to praise you, not to flatter you, but to challenge you to demonstrate the type of leadership that will translate into greatness moving forward. I challenge us to summon the best parts of our legacy in order to confront the lesser angels of our nature. Duke University, I challenge you to be great for this country the way you were in 1963 for Mary Mitchell Harris, for Jean Kendall, for Wilhelmina Rubin Cook, for Cassandra Smith Rush and Nathaniel White Jr., when you opened the doors for them and other black students and told people once and for all that you would no longer see this world in the colors of black and white. Duke University, I challenge you today to be great the way you were in 1926 for Andres Rodriguez Diago y Gomez, when his family sent him here from Colombia, and you forever staked your claim as being a place that understood the beauty of welcoming the tired, the poor, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of someone else's teeming shore. Duke, I challenge you to be great today the way you were in 1892 for Ida Carr, Floyd and Ella Martin, and Annie Pegram, when you welcomed women into your doors for what we know should have been the birth of an era in this country that shielded women from being victimized by boys pretending to be men and behaving as if they did not have mothers and sisters. Duke University, I challenge you to be great today the way you once were great for Joseph May Tubby, the first Native American graduate of Trinity College in 1896, or the 20 Cherokee boys who attended the Cherokee Industrial School at Trinity College in 1884. It was then that you showed your capacity to advocate for those who have been displaced and criminalized in their own communities, much like Michael Brown, Botham Jean, Eric Gardner, Sandra Bland, and all the other men and women who suffered disproportionately in the hands of a criminal justice system that is badly in need of reform. Duke, I challenge you to get in the arena with those of us who are in this fight. Join us from the places of comfort, from the places of symposiums and peer-reviewed journals. Join us on the front lines where the fights are being fought, where there is a risk that you might lose, where there is no glamour. There's only the glory of service. Duke, I challenge you to take your time, your talent, your treasure, and make this a better world. I challenge you to solve, not just talk about solving the most pressing issues of the day. You have one of the best medical schools in the world. Push them harder to solve diabetes, cancer, and mental illness. Turn your top 10 law school loose on justice reform. Challenge your top-flight public policy and business schools to work together to solve poverty. Duke, this path towards greatness will not be an easy path. Greatness does not come from places of ease. It does not come from preserving the status quo. Greatness comes from being tested and being challenged to answer the clarion call. It is this time that the clarion call is being sounded. Who will you be? Who will all of us be? Will we stand up to defeat the issues of our day? Will we recognize that there is no country that should tolerate 45 million of its citizens to live in poverty? That our education system, which is now defined by poverty, that more of our students are living in free and reduced lunch lives, or the 54% of Americans that enter college of the benefit of Pell Grants, meaning they come from the lowest socioeconomic status in this country. These are the challenges of the day. This is what we are here for. You have all the resources that anyone can dream of. The question is, do you have the will? Do you have the heart to stand up and fight? I am betting that you do. I am betting that the clarion call, which is being sounded, that you will answer. I am betting it just like I bet my future on this institution almost 30 years ago. I am proud to be a Duke alum. I am proud to stand before you today as a recipient of a Distinguished Alumni Award. But I am even more proud to see the greatness that comes next. Thank you, and happy Founders Day.
Please join me in again thanking President Sorrell for those passionate, inspiring, and challenging calls for greatness. I would now like to recognize the distinguished students, faculty, staff, and alumni who are with us. A full listing of our honorees can be found in your program. Ever since James B. Duke's historic indenture of trust, scholarships and fellowships have been absolutely vital to expanding a Duke education and making it accessible to the very best and brightest in our communities, regardless of their backgrounds. I know well the deep value of scholarships and fellowships, as without them, I would not have been able to have the undergraduate or graduate experiences that changed my own life. Would our undergraduate, graduate, and professional scholarship recipients please stand to be recognized? We're all blessed to be part of a community of extraordinary people of purpose and accomplishment. And the faculty and staff are absolutely vital to making Duke, Duke. William Preston Few understood this when he was working to establish Duke's credibility in the early days of the university. Wilbert Davison understood this as he was building our medical school. And Terry Sanford knew it when he made new investments in the humanities and social sciences, investments that brought Duke international renown. And as we look ahead to the Duke University and Duke Health of tomorrow, we too know that it's only through the very best people that we can realize our true potential. With the faculty and the staff members with us here today, please stand to be recognized. Now, last weekend was homecoming, a time when we welcome back to Duke our alumni, and we celebrate their continued contributions to the life of the university. The Duke Alumni Association Awards were presented on Saturday, including the Beyond Duke Awards, the Charles A. Dukes Award for Outstanding Volunteer Service, and the Forever Duke Award. Please join me in congratulating our winners. We next honor 4 individuals who have made exceptional contributions to Duke and to the world. And I would invite our honorees to please stand as I recognize each of you. The winner of the Alumni Distinguished Undergraduate Teaching Award is Professor Karen Shapiro. This award was established by the Duke Alumni Association in 1970 to recognize outstanding undergraduate teaching. Students nominate members of the faculty, and the winner is selected by a committee of 6 students. So perhaps we should put special emphasis on what the students have to say about today's awardee. They called her classroom, quote, a rich soil to create new ideas, an open atmosphere, a place of exploration where everyone's perspectives are appreciated. They valued her as a mentor and as a guide. Each of the students who nominated her noted that they appreciated her genuine interest in their academic growth, and several said hers was one of the best classes at Duke. Clearly, this award is well-deserved. A native of South Africa, Karen came to Duke in 1998 as Associate Professor of the Practice in the Department of African and African American Studies. She teaches a range of courses on the histories of the American South and South Africa with a focus on race and social justice. She's also an accomplished filmmaker and the director of 3 documentary films. Most recently, John Henry Lives On, which examines the Duke epidemiologist's groundbreaking research into health disparities and its connections to a group of South African mentors who pioneered social medicine. Please join me in congratulating the winner of this year's Alumni Distinguished Undergraduate Teaching Award, Professor Karen Shapiro. As president, it was a great honor to introduce Michael Sorrell, but it's a particular pleasure to get to do so a second time, now as the winner of the Distinguished Alumni Award. Established in 1983, this is the highest award given by the Duke Alumni Association. It recognizes truly exceptional achievement by Duke University alumni who now number hundreds of thousands strong. Please join me in congratulating President Sorrell for his contributions to higher education, Paul Quinn College, and the Dallas community. Congratulations. The University Medal is Duke's highest honor, reserved for those who have close ties to Duke and whose contributions have had unquestionable and long-lasting impact on the life of the institution. The medal is symbolic both of the university and its mission, bearing Duke's seal and the official motto, Eruditio et Religio. It honors selfless devotion to education, public service, and the values of this community. And Duke is pleased to recognize 2 extraordinarily worthy recipients today. Today's first recipient of the University Medal is Thomas M. Gorey. Although he's not a Duke graduate, Tom has been so active on this campus that everyone assumes he went here. For 4 decades, he has been devoted as a volunteer, and his visionary leadership has been instrumental to shaping the course and the future of Duke. He has been a trusted advisor and a friend to presidents, provosts, and chancellors, and he served the university at the very highest levels, including 12 years on the Duke Board of Trustees, 19 on the Duke Health Board of Visitors, including 4 as chair, 14 years on the Duke University Health System Board of Directors, including 11 as chair, and a decade on the Global Health Institute Board, including 8 as chair. Every aspect of this university has benefited from Tom's leadership. He's transformed Duke Health, supported the growth and innovation of the university, and has helped lay the groundwork for our newest venture, Duke Kunshan University. We're so very grateful for all that he has done for Duke. Please join me in congratulating Tom Gorey, recipient of the University Medal. Today's second university medalist is also one of Duke's most steadfast supporters and volunteers, Sally Robinson. Now, Sally once said in an interview that she has a lifelong love affair with Duke, one that began growing up attending football games at Wallace Wade. And what a remarkable relationship it has been. Since graduating Phi Beta Kappa with a degree in history, she has made Duke history, providing principal leadership as a member of the Board of Trustees, the Student Affairs, and the Financial Aid Initiative Committees, both of which she chaired, and the boards of the Robertson's Scholars Program, the Center for Documentary Studies, and Duke Engage. I'm personally very grateful for her service on the Commission on Memory and History, which provided important recommendations for confronting Duke's past and building a stronger university going forward. And I'm not alone. Across this campus, indeed across the state, Sally and her husband Russell have forever transformed our community for the better. Sally's been so dedicated to Duke over the years that we were worried the love affair might seem a little too one-sided. So this university medal, Duke's highest honor, is just one well-deserved means of expressing our deep gratitude, indeed love, for her and all she's done for this university. Please join me in congratulating our university medalist, Sally Robinson. Well, I began this program talking about ceremonies, and many of you will recall that the president, meaning me, formally begins the academic year by joining nervous new students in the alma mater at convocation. And last year, as a new president, I joined my fellow first years in another long-standing tradition, which is frantically learning the words to the alma mater in the waning hours of orientation. Not only did this make me an honorary member of the class of 2021, it has also ensured that the 8 short lines are forever seared into my memory. And when I think of the Duke community, I'm reminded of one passage in particular. Though on life's broad sea our fates may far us bear, we'll ever turn to thee. It speaks to the fact that wherever life takes us, whether near campus or a world away, Duke will always, always be our home. Each of you has made a difference in the history of the university and its intellectual life, a contribution for which we are very thankful. This Founders Day, we sing the alma mater in recognition not only of those who have come before, but also those who are already shaping the great future of this academic community. Please stand to join me in the singing Dear Old Duke.